Inter Miami have done it. They have won the League's Cup, led by Lionel Messi, of course. What a fucking match that was. 1-1 and then 10-9 on penalties. We just finished watching the match, so let's go ahead and get straight into this because I have a lot that I want to say, and I'm sure you do as well. G, what is your initial reaction to Inter Miami winning the League's Cup?
What an unexpected game. What a gem that we just had the privilege of watching, because I never expected that game to be as close as it was, but am I kind of glad it was because of how entertaining it was. I thought this would be a walkover. I thought Inter Miami would just do what they always do. They seem to always score 3 goals or averaging about 3 goals a game. I thought, this isn't going to be any scuff to them. It's whatever. It's just another game. And at the first half, you would think so because they dominated them in possession, almost 60% possession in that game, in that half, and they were playing well. But the second half, the script flipped. It completely changed on its head. Inter Miami looked a bit, tired. They're a bit sluggish, and Nashville was just able to take over and start to dominate the game more and put pressure on Miami. They're able to get the equalizer, but it took heroics from Calendar to just, like I was telling you there, any day of the week, Calendar will show up. And he just played spectacular, keeping them in the game. I mean, it's like Emi Martinez-esque almost to almost the certain death of the game right before instant penalties. But obviously, before moving into that fateful penalty shootout, it's giving a lot more credit to, that obviously they played well in the first half. I think everybody can agree that the position was spot on. But I think they just got a little bit too calm in the second half. They were kind of expecting, we're just going to do what we always do. And obviously Nashville had different thoughts. They're a very good team. I think what the second half proved was Nashville are technically a better team, I would say. Like, they're more well-rounded, I think. They just have a little bit better players there. And I think it was also a bit of detriment that some of, Inter Miami's go-to guys had an off game. Jordi Alba kind of looked shambolic at times. Taylor didn't look too great. He got subbed out somewhat early for a player that, you expect to be one of the best on the team. And then Martinez ghosted. I mean, it's just but my brother did not show up. He was not there. And
his replacement wasn't too much better.
Yeah, I mean, and then Messi in the second half, he just, he kind of didn't have too much of a grip on the game. But then it goes into that penalty shootout. And my God, I would have never expected that in my entire life. That, it's to me, I just love the fact that it went so to the goalkeepers because it's something you don't get to see that much. So it's just it was so exciting that we're getting to 8, that 7-8. It's like, oh my God, the goalkeepers are gonna have to come up, and the drama of it to where obviously. I forget the guy's name for Inter Miami. He misses the last one to send it to
Oyoa, I think.
Oyoa or whatever gods there. It was fucking a horrid pen, but it just kept on going. And we just looked at it as like, is anybody going to miss? Is everybody just taking it perfect? They got like the F2 freestylers over here taking these fucking pens. They're going top bins. And then it comes up to that one man, the man of the match, Calendar, and says, you know what? He had the biggest I'm fucking him moment. He had his Kodak moment. He goes there and just the roof of the net, almost breaks the fucking net for Christ's sake. And then says, you know what? I got something else for you. Then saves the penalty to end it. It was just, it was almost a bit too good. And then it was just like, there's just no way. And we would all think it would come from Messi. That's what, everybody thinking that. Who was ever going to decide this game was going to be Messi. And yeah, he had something to say about that in the first half. But from the second half, from the start of the second half to the end, it was all Calendar. It was all him. Drake Calendar saved the day. And I mean, just what a game it was. And I would have never thought I would have had that much fun watching an MLS game because, I'm from, I'm born, in 305. I'm from Miami. I've always been attached to Miami teams, but not really to MLS, but this one was just, it felt like I was like, my God, can someone please miss? Because even though it's not, I haven't been so on top of this team, it's just something that you're supporting a team and it's a penalty shootout. You just get that feeling, it's just like, come on, you get anxious. And for it to end like that, it was really satisfying. And it was funny enough, it was Miami's toughest test. It took them to the death. They couldn't have taken them any further, but I think it was deserved at the end of the day. And Messi now has 44 trophies, the most trophies of any player of all time.
Remarkable. There's almost nothing to say. I am literally almost at a loss for words. What a game, what a final, what a tournament. This tournament, Leagues Cup, really had everything. And look, I've always been a fan of MLS, especially since Orlando City joined the league. But it just feels different. This tournament was so good. And it's almost remarkable. Inter Miami, obviously going into the tournament before Messi, last place in MLS in the Eastern Conference. And they still are because they haven't been playing MLS games. And now they can say, after winning the Leagues Cup, they're the best team in America and Mexico. It's just remarkable. It's crazy to even think that was even a possibility, because a couple months ago, you would have said there is no chance in hell Inter Miami is going to win anything this season, much less a tournament that crowns you the best team in the Americas. It is just absolutely remarkable. It's crazy. This final really had everything. It was Inter Miami's toughest test to date. And I think after the semifinals, maybe we didn't give Nashville the respect that they deserve, because Nashville was a really, really good team, really solid team, gave Inter Miami a lot of problems. And I think, like you said, you could actually say Nashville maybe are actually the better team, quote unquote. But obviously in a final, when it goes to penalties, anything can happen. That's what I was saying to you while watching the game. That's ultimately what happened. It's no surprise that Messi had his moment in the match. What a fucking goal that was. It's what you expect. I mean, I saw a statistic where Messi now has 50 goals in assists in finals in his career, and no other player in football history has more than 40. It's just absolutely crazy. The greatest there is, the greatest there was, the greatest there ever will be, Lionel Messi. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. I mean, compared to the World Cup or basically any other final he's ever played in, this is basically nothing. But every single big moment, this guy steps up when it matters the most. It's just crazy. I don't understand how you can watch Messi, even when he's playing in MLS at this age, and say this isn't the best player to ever have touched a football. I just don't understand. I mean, no disrespect to the other legends there, Cristiano Ronaldo, the Peles, the Maradonas, whoever you want to say. I just don't understand how you can watch Messi and not think this is the greatest ever. To me, I will never understand, because I've thought he is the greatest for many, many years now. Before he won the World Cup, I said he was the GOAT, and obviously now after winning the World Cup, this has no impact on his GOAT status, obviously. I'm just saying, I just don't understand how you can watch him play, even at his age, playing for Inter Miami, and say this isn't the greatest. Because it's not even about the competition. Obviously, there's no one in MLS or Nashville or whatever club that is anywhere near Messi's level. But some of the goals he scores, it doesn't matter who it's against. The goal that he scored today, it wasn't like Nashville defended that perfectly. There was nothing more they could have done. Top bins, they had 5 players around him, pressure on him, and he still finds a way to get an inch of space, not even an inch, a half inch of space, and bang it in. It's just remarkable. And look, it's not just Messi. It wasn't just about Messi here, because obviously, like you said, the man of the match, and deservedly so the man of the match, Drake Callender. I mean, any day of the week, you got Callender there, like you said. He is just remarkable. He's been remarkable this entire tournament. He has saved Miami a couple times throughout this tournament, and then especially today, because especially in that second half, Nashville was creating very good chances. And, I think about that, the one-on-one that Surridge had, and then Mukhtar had the rebound, which ultimately was deflected. But that save on Surridge, what a save that was. I think that it was like the 92nd minute, I think, on a corner, one of the last kicks of the game. It was kind of straight at him, but a very important save. Not an easy save, especially in a high-pressure moment. And then to have the audacity to take his penalty like that. I mean, he's a goalkeeper. He can say that he practiced for this moment and stuff like that, but he's a goalkeeper. He doesn't take that many penalties in training. I promise you, Tata Martino is not making him take that many penalties in training. And to do that in that moment, pressure is on, top of the net, roof of the net, unbelievable penalty. And then to say, you know what, now I'm going to go ahead and win it for us. I did that to give us the lead. I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, Messi, you don't have to take a second pen. I'm going to end in this right here. That's exactly what he did. Drake Callender. I don't even know how old he is, to be honest, but this is a really good goalkeeper. And I think other clubs, potentially in Europe or whatever, I'm not even joking. I think there are clubs in Europe that would be interested in Drake Callender, especially now that there's
he's 20. He's 25.
25. I mean, look. I'm not saying that Real Madrid are
Real Madrid. But
I'm saying that they're like, after what I've seen from Drake Callender, I would not be surprised to see some other clubs sniffing around him, because he's a really good goalkeeper, really good shot stopper. And beyond this game, I just want to you have to give Inter Miami a lot of credit because obviously when you get Lionel Messi, you kind of expected they were going to be way better. Of course, you have the greatest player of all time, the best player potentially in the world right now, still joining your club. And, he's in a league where he's miles better than everyone else. I mean, it's him, and then everyone else is not even in the same stratosphere. We're talking about Lionel Messi here. But what they've done around Messi, obviously bringing him Jordi Alba, bringing him Sergio Busquets, but I think most importantly, bringing Tata Martino into the fold as manager, that was the difference. And I think what Tata Martino brings into the team, first of all, he's able to bring everyone together. And you can see that the tactics are maybe starting to come together fully. It's still, we have to keep in mind, this is only the 7th game that they've played. I mean, Messi made his debut in the League's Cup. They are still, finding that chemistry and really trying to put everything together. But you can see they're getting better. They faced their toughest tests, and they're still able to come out on top. And we've said it. We thought that the last match was their toughest test, and this one was by far and away their toughest test. It's like every single time they just proved that they can do it. They can compete. And, we talked about earlier on in the tournament their defense. And, well, if anything was going to be their demise, it was their defense. But Nashville, I mean, yes, they created chances. Yes, they potentially should have or would have scored another goal or two if Calendar wasn't so great. But to only concede one goal, you have to give the defense credit. I mean, and it was an own goal. I mean, it wasn't really a defensive error or a mistake. Really, it was just the header, a close range. There's nothing really they could have done. I have to give the defense a lot of credit. And so I think Inter Miami's defense, maybe I don't know, they're just maybe playing better, getting confidence. I have to give them credit. I think Inter Miami, yes, they were not as good, I don't think, as Nashville as the team. We have to keep in mind this is still a team, even though they've added a lot of players. They're still not a great unit, a great squad of players, if that makes sense. Nashville is, on paper, a better team. They have a more complete team, better midfield. They're just a more complete team. But Miami, obviously, when you have the top-heavy players like a Busquets, Jordi Alba, Messi, those kind of able to carry you over the hump and make up the gap a little bit. And obviously, when it matters in those big moments, you have a guy like Messi that can step up and make something out of nothing. It's what he did today. It's just remarkable. And then, look, Messi winning his 44th career trophy. It's just remarkable, man. It's just unbelievable. Like I said before, I don't understand how you can watch Messi play, even at Inter Miami right now, and say this is not the greatest player of all time. Because it's just every single time you watch him play, he does something that it boggles your mind. I mean, he hit the post. I thought he was going to get the second goal in the game. But, I mean, we're talking about 44 career trophies, the most in football history. I saw a statistic. A player could make his debut at 20 years old and win a trophy, 2 trophies per season for 20 seasons, and he still wouldn't have as many as Messi. You know how crazy it is? We're talking about 44 trophies. I just don't understand. Messi is by far and away, I think, the greatest player of all time. And, I think we'll get into it a little bit now, but Miami, I think they, like we've talked about before in previous videos, they still have a chance to win more this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're going real heavy into the thing with the go thing, like you said. I don't really think much of that because I think this doesn't really affect it. That's already a conversation that's set and sailed. I'm not gonna always come up on here and fucking re-preach. Everybody knows if you watch football, you should know. There's a couple things, it's like you look up football. They play with a soccer ball. The ball's about yay big. They have a goalkeeper. They have a net, and Messi's the greatest player of all time. That's just as simple as it is. And with them now going back to league play, they've yet to lose a game. I think it's a real, there's a real chance they could go unbeaten through the league and go into the playoffs and get because we're talking about them maybe sneaking in as a lower seed, but I think they could get like a high, up to a 4 seed. I think they can. That's something that realistically happen because of just how good they are. They are very top heavy, but they're really top heavy when in a good way to the fact that they can just get by on that. There's not really, they've already proven that they're the best team in the Americas. So look, we're gonna see how it plays out. It's gonna be more exciting, more games. Obviously, they actually play Nashville again in 11 days, so it's gonna be kind of funny and another a chance to size them up once again because obviously how tough they were the first time. They ended up drawing in the league. They obviously no penalties, so if they draw, they draw.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see. I think it's gonna be exciting, and I'm excited for eventually to get there to the playoffs.
Yeah.
To see Messi make a playoff push.
I think it will be interesting. Like I totally agree with you that I think Inter Miami have a very good chance. I don't know about making top 4 or making whatever. I don't know how high they can get, but I think they will definitely make the playoffs because you look at the amount of games they have left in MLS and how good this team is, and we're talking about they just won the Leagues Cup, the best team. I mean, well, basically winning that trophy, basically you can call yourself the best team in the Americas. America and Mexico. That's quite an achievement. That's something that means something. And we're talking about now, with MLS, they're going to be playing, Charlotte, they look, I'm looking at their schedule right now. I don't see them dropping many points, basically. I mean, they are one of the best teams in the league with Messi. We haven't seen them play MLS matches, but we've just seen them play Leagues Cup, and we can basically infer that it's going to be very similar in MLS, if not even better, because they could be playing, easier teams. It just depends. But I think, look, easily they make the playoffs. I don't know what seed they're going to make, but they will make the playoffs. And, look, literally their next match on the 23rd in a couple of days here,
Is
they
the U.S.
play
Open Cup.
the U.S. Open Cup semifinals against
Cincinnati.
And that is the best team in MLS right now. I mean, statistically, that is the best team, one of the best teams, if not the best team. That's going to be a tough test. Obviously, they want to win silverware this season. They are a fantastic team, really, really good team. You could even argue they're better than Nashville. That's how good Cincinnati is. I mean, if you watch MLS, you keep up with it, you know how good Cincinnati is. They weren't able to make a run in Leagues Cup, I think, because Nashville took them out. But we're talking about a knockout-style tournament. It's different. Cincinnati's made it this far. Look, do I favor Inter Miami to win? Yes, of course I do. I think that they will win and they'll make the U.S. Open Cup finals. But that's going to be a very difficult game. It's only getting tougher for Inter Miami, especially in these knockout tournaments. That's not going to be an easy game, but obviously I back them. I think they will win that. But I'm not going to sit up here and say it's going to be a comfortable win. I think it could very easily be a game like we just watched, where it's very, very close, fine margins. Cincinnati maybe even has the better of the chances. It just comes down to maybe a Messi moment of magic, moment of brilliance, which we know he has in his locker that he can always do. If I had to predict it, I would say maybe a 2-1 or maybe even, like I said, a 1-1. It goes to penalties again.
Another penalty shootout.
I mean, that's how fine those margins are going to be in that game.
I do think after this penalty shootout, they'll start to figure out, who should start taking penalties. Like, Jordi Alba, maybe, you know what?
Yeah.
Calendar, bro, it's time to step up a little sooner there, bud. Come on.
Well, look, I think Jordi Alba should be taking that 5th penalty. I mean, look, I don't know. No disrespect to Ulloa, but Jordi Alba needs to be there.
Buddy, you ain't taking penalties.
You ain't taking a penalty.
You're not taking them no more, dog. Come on, man. And at least Campagna had a chance to redeem himself because, bro, if he would have missed that penalty, blood, you're finished. You might as well pack your bags.
Campagna almost had his Higuain moment.
Yeah, he had his Higuain moment, dude. Literally unbelievable. It was a shocking ship. That shit, I don't know what the fuck he was trying there, blood. It was fucking horrible.
That was horrible.
We didn't mention it, but it was
lose after that.
Dude, to see that, dude, you saw Messi's face. He's like fucking doing the thing. No, he's
that
fucking.
Was the chance. I mean, it was clear as day.
Literally the last kick of the game. Because as soon as it went out, they called it. They said,
he's a left foot. I think all he had to do was open up his hips and just slot it into the bottom corner. He went for the chip, and then I feel like he could have done better with the finish. I mean,
nah.
Literally
the Nashville defender like kind of falling, kind of sliding, throws him off just a little bit, and I think it throws him off. But yeah, it was way too fast to stop the ball or anything. But
I am very glad that wasn't the defining moment in this game, and that Messi and Miami lost this trophy based on that. I wouldn't have wanted Messi to not win his 44th career trophy, become the most decorated player in football history because of Campagna having that atrocious finish right at the end of the game.
Yeah, Campagna, bro. That was a golden moment.
But obviously, look, I can't say that we're necessarily totally surprised by this because if you've watched our previous Inter Miami videos, we basically said that we thought this was going to happen. I mean, we didn't think it was going to be exactly like this, of course. Not this match. I mean, this match was crazy, had it all. But we expected Inter Miami to win this tournament, especially once we got past, that Dallas game. That was a crazy game. And then we're like, okay. You just have a feeling they're going to go on and win this. The script is too good almost. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And, that they ultimately have done it now. And now that I think that they've done this, I think this team is only going to get better and better. The chemistry is going to get better. Like I said, with Tata Martino and his tactics, they're going to be more integrated into the group. This Miami team, I think, with every single match they play, is going to get a little bit better. And even in moments like in this match where they weren't playing their best, I think it's still growing. You know what I mean? It's like steps forward for the team because, like I said, with Tata Martino and his tactics, they're going to be more integrated into the group. This Miami team, I think, with every single match they play, is going to get a little bit better. And even in moments like in this match where they weren't playing their best, I think it's still growing. You know what I mean? It's like steps forward for the team because sometimes you're not going to play your best. Sometimes, Busquets isn't going to have his best game. Sometimes Jordi Alba, even though he did fine in the penalty shootout, he wasn't playing his best.
He didn't play
Messi,
that well, no.
Nashville, maybe they found a little bit of the blueprint on how to stop Messi a little bit, because in the second half, he wasn't really as impactful as we've seen in previous matches. He still hit the post. He still was there trying to create, but he wasn't doing as much as we've seen in other matches, I would say. So even in those moments where it looked like Nashville had everything going their way, they finally, they stopped Messi a little bit. Alba's not playing that good. Busquets isn't playing that good. Joseph Martinez is gone. Where is he? He's not even playing. Robert Taylor, he's looking like Neymar against other teams, but against Nashville, he's not looking that great. Everything was going in Nashville's way. They were creating good chances, holding a lot of the ball in the second half, but Inter Miami still able to come out on top. That has to be, a moment where confidence grows in the group, especially going into the U.S. Open Cup. Like I said, I think they have a very, very good chance to win the treble. I'm not going to say they're going to do it 100%, but I think they have a very good chance. They're already, they can get past Cincinnati. They're not going to play a tougher team than Cincinnati in the U.S. Open Cup final. I don't know who else is left in that tournament. I'm actually going to look right now. But, look, okay. They beat Cincinnati. They play either Houston Dynamo or RSL, Real Salt Lake in the final. This is basically the final. They beat Cincinnati. I think they win that tournament quite easily. That's the second trophy.
Dynamo.
Hey, look, no disrespect to the Dynamo or Real Salt Lake, but Miami is beating either of you in the final. It's just a reality. It's happening. Cincinnati, this semifinal is basically the final. And then MLS obviously is the trophy where that's going to be the most difficult. They have to go on a run here in the league, get a lot of 3 points, get a lot of wins in a row here to make up that lost ground. But they're going to easily be able to do that, I think. If they just sneak into the playoffs, even if it's as the lowest possible seed, that's a team you don't want to play. You do not want to play Inter Miami in the playoffs. It's basically a knockout tournament, and it's going to just come down to who's better on the day. And you don't want to play Messi in these knockout tournaments. I saw the statistic in the World Cup. He scored in every single round, the group stage, round of 16. Go down the line. He did it all. He did the same thing in Leagues Cup. I wouldn't bet against them doing that in MLS playoffs if it came down to it. So that's all I'm going to say.
Messi wins his biggest trophy of his career. Let's go.
This was better than the World Cup. He celebrated more.
He celebrated more than when he won the fucking World Cup, for fuck's sake.
But ultimately, I think everyone is still processing that game because what a game it was. My heart, I never thought I could be so invested. My heart would be pounding so much over a Leagues Cup, MLS type of game. But that's what Messi and that's what Inter Miami have done to this league. They've brought so much attention to it, so much energy, so much passion into it almost. You're going to have to let us know in the comments down below, all the Messi fans that we have on the channel. What did y'all think about this match? What do you think about Messi becoming the most decorated player in football history? Let us know in the comments down below y'all's reaction to the match. If you're still alive after that game, because I think my heart is still recovering. So let us know your reactions, comments down below. Just slap a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more Inter Miami and football content. And I think without further ado, we can go ahead and wrap up the video.
Let's get out of here.
So I'm Zach.
I'm G.
And we'll see you next time for another video on the channel. Peace.